Hi, this is Lisa and welcome to my solo exhibition in Gallery 1819 Singapore 2021. Due to travel restrictions, I'm unable to travel to Singapore. So with this video, I'd like to share with you my background, my journey as an artist and the inspiration behind this series. I'm Malaysian and I live in Kuala Lumpur. I wanted to pursue fine art at university, but due to parental encouragement, I ended up doing a double degree in accounting and law at the University of Melbourne. I started off my legal career at Screen. I chambered and worked for Mr. Tommy Thomas, our former Attorney General, and a few other senior lawyers. My last legal job was actually as a company secretary and legal compliance officer at the OCBC Bank in Kuala Lumpur. Even though I wasn't in the art profession, I remained passionate about art and made it a point to visit art museums whenever I'm traveling overseas. In particular, I love the Metropolitan Museum in New York, as well as the art museums in Paris and Amsterdam. In particular, I love the work of post-impressionists, especially Paul Cézanne. He's one of my favorite artists. I love studying their brushstrokes, use of color, as well as composition. When my first child came along in 2008, I decided to quit working and concentrate on being a full-time mom. Subsequently, I had another child 4 years later, and I spent many years raising them because I felt that it's important that they have a strong foundation since young. About 10 years ago, when my children started going to school and I had more free time on my hands, I started creating art again. It was a wonderful feeling to pick up different techniques from specialist teachers such as watercolor, oil, acrylic, and charcoal. About 6 years ago, I participated in my first group exhibition, and since then I've participated in 3 other group exhibitions in Kuala Lumpur and have sold around 70 paintings to date. My buyers are from all over the world, including the US, Egypt, Croatia, as well as Singapore. I paint different subject matters and I use different mediums, but my favorite is actually using oil to paint paddy fields. I love this medium because of its vibrant and strong colors and slow drying time. This allows me to gradually build up my composition over several days or even weeks, and usually I paint about 3 layers. Each layer takes about 2 to 3 days to dry. So one painting, such as the one that you see in this exhibition, takes almost 1 month, because once it's finalized, I need to wait for another 10 days for it to completely dry. The paintings in this exhibition has taken me half a year to complete. Malaysia is one of the countries that produce rice, and there are many states that have beautiful paddy fields such as Kedah, Kelantan, as well as Selangor. Sarawak produces the famous barley rice up in the highlands. The paddy fields that I frequent the most is in Sekinchan in Selangor. It's only about an hour's drive from Kuala Lumpur, so it's easy to access and very popular with city dwellers for a day trip or a staycation. There are many paddy fields there, they are beautiful to look at, there's great seafood and even a beach to fly a kite nearby. Visitors can also see the fishing villages as well as the fishermen in action in their colorful boats. I love visiting the paddy fields because of the changing scenery depending on the time of year that I go. There are 2 seasons in a year, January to June and July to December. Depending when you go, you can see the fields either green, yellow for harvest, or bare during the in-between cycle. Whenever I visit the paddy fields, it's very calm, it's very serene. I especially love to see when it's green or yellow, when it's ready for harvest. Whenever I go, I feel very relaxed. It's nice to be back in nature, because I'm a nature lover. I love visiting the paddy fields because each visit July to December. Each visit is different depending on the stages of plantation. Sometimes when I go it's bare, sometimes it's bright green, and sometimes it's yellow, ready for harvest. I made my first outdoor painting trip to Sekinchan in 2017 with a group of artists. It was a really fun experience and I learned so much about paddy plantation as well as the fields. The early mornings there are especially nice. The weather is cool, little birds are chirping, and you can hear prayers from the mosque as well as workers arriving to work in the paddy fields. It gets pretty hot because Malaysia is a tropical climate. So we took shelter under the trees planted by the paddy fields and painted what we saw. When I returned from that trip, I was really inspired. So I created my first series on paddy fields in 2017. I created about 15 paintings and they were very well received at the exhibition, especially because of its feng shui elements, the messages of abundance, prosperity, as well as harvesting. I love merging Western techniques of post-impressionists, the loose brushstrokes, with feng shui elements. Most of my paintings have a positive message to it and a positive feel because it reflects the positive person that I am. There were big changes for me in the past 3 years. 3 years ago, I started questioning my life as well as my future. I had many good years in marriage and I raised 2 beautiful children. But in my heart, I knew that a new chapter was coming and changes were necessary. It was during this time that I also began my spiritual journey. I've never really been a religious person, but it was during this time that I learned about energy healing as well as consciousness. In 2019, I attended the Vipassana meditation retreat for clarity, and I also learned about pranic energy healing from Master Chow and about consciousness from teachers such as 𝐏𝐶𝐬𝐭. After many months of deep thinking and self-discovery, I finally made the difficult decision to separate from my partner. I'm grateful for the positive consequences for the family since then, and the past year has been very eventful experience being a single mom of 2 children. I registered my business and opened an art studio and pursue my art full-time. In this second series on paddy fields, I express my past 2 years using the fields as a metaphor. They represent what I've learned, what I believe in, as well as what I feel my future to be. I hope to use my art and narrative to inspire others to also listen closely to their hearts and to pursue their true life paths. Thank you very much for your visit. I hope that you've enjoyed this exhibition as much as I've enjoyed creating these paintings. I hope that the paintings resonate with you. Feel free to take from them the messages that are true to you, messages that speak to your heart. I look forward to hearing from you. Do reach out to me if you have any queries or if you have any comments about my painting. Thank you.